What's up, YouTube friends? My name is Danny Jones, and welcome to Jones Vibes.
Jones Vibes.
First and foremost, thank you so much for clicking on this video, and if you enjoy it, please go ahead and click that Viking button, like button, and then go ahead and hit subscribe as well as hit that notification bell. That'll keep you up to date when I make more content. And this week, we're talking about Robert Eggers' new film, The Northman. And this isn't a spoiler review, so don't worry about that. I'm mainly just going to be talking about my thoughts on the movie, as well as just how awesome Vikings are. And also, I just want to say that this movie wasn't just a front for a super long Bjork music video like some people were thinking. Or maybe it was. But I can confirm that she is in the movie, so that was pretty tight. But seriously, this movie was insane. If you're not familiar with Robert Eggers, I highly recommend checking out his other films. Most notably, The Lighthouse with Norman Osborn and Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe, as well as The Witch with Anna Taylor-Joy. I don't know, his work just has a very specific feel as well as aesthetic. And it's also pretty awesome that this time it's with a bigger budget. You could tell that he was just having a lot of fun with this project, as well as the talent that he managed to cast is unbelievable. And so let's actually break down this cast because it's huge. First, we have Alexander Skarsgård as Amleth, and as always, talent runs in the Skarsgård family. I was really happy to see him in this role. I know he's done some other stuff recently, but to see him front and center, it was pretty perfect. But then we have Anna Taylor-Joy as Olga of the Birch Forest, and she just continues to prove that she's one of the best out there right now. And she fits Eggers' style just so well. They're like a match made in heaven. Or Valhalla. We also get Ethan Hawke, who's kind of having a big year right now. One could say it's like the Hawkassance because, he's in Moon Knight right now. He's coming out in Black Phone. And then to have him in this, I don't know. It's been great to just get so much Ethan Hawke. But he plays King Arvandil Warraven.
King of the who?
And he's the dad of Amleth. He's the king. And then the queen, Gudrun, is played by Nicole Kidman. And I saw her in this and I was like, are you kidding, man? But honestly, she was so good. I've been a little out of touch with her more recent performances, and so this just reminded me how incredible she is. But then we have Fjolnir, played by Claes Bang, and I honestly don't know which name is cooler, Fjolnir or Claes Bang. But he's Amleth's uncle, and then we're also introduced to Hymir, I think that's how you say his name, the Fool, and he's played by Willem Dafoe. And once again, it was really fun to see Willem Dafoe in another Robert Eggers film. But yeah, that's about it for the cast. Well, I wanted to also shout out the young kid who plays Amleth, Oscar Novak. He was so good. I feel like he just deserves a shout out. Like, he was in the first 20 minutes of this thing, and he held his own. And fun fact, he played young Bruce Wayne in The Batman. So, heck of a year for this kid. But yeah, and then to talk about the plot, it can basically just be summed up in a sentence. I will avenge you, father. I will save you, mother. I will kill you, Fiona. But sometimes the simpler the story, the better. There are definitely some twists and turns throughout, but if you're looking for a script that you can break down and decipher all of this dialogue, this isn't really it. It's honestly just this 2+ hour action-packed, brutal, beautifully crafted Viking story. And the acting is phenomenal, but it's really the setting that kind of immerses you in it. The movie is set in 895 AD, and I think AD stands for Awesome Danny. At least that's what I've always thought. But the detail that Robert Eggers and his team put into the setting, like the weapons and the clothing, apparently it was all like straight out of that era, like down to the smallest little detail. And there obviously was some CGI, like you can't really escape that, but with a budget of 90-something million, they managed to include a lot of practical in there, which I love. And I'd also love to just talk to Robert Eggers about how they brought this thing to life. I'd love to axe him about it. And his camera work was brilliant. Like, some of those long takes throughout the movie, they should have been impossible. If you're more so of just like a casual moviegoer or observer, next time you see this movie, just take a second and notice how few cuts there are within a scene. The camera will just keep running. And that is such a challenging thing to do. And the action was, well, it was just was like Vikings and Berserkers. It was crazy. The attention to detail was definitely there. And yeah, there is some gore, but nothing really goes too overboard. Nothing to be negative about. Sorry, little blood pun there. And something really fun and familiar to his other movies is that they dive into like the mystic side of things as well. Norse mythology, we're talking about Odin and Valkyrie and Valhalla. Like this film can feel so grounded, but then all of a sudden you're transported on like a horse into the sky and you're like, wait, what? And I would say that the overall vibe felt like I was watching maybe Gladiator or Braveheart. This is just personally, but I felt like I was watching a movie maybe when I was a kid that my dad was showing me, and maybe like I wasn't supposed to be seeing it. Even like Last of the Mohicans. Like I can't remember the last time that I saw such like a brutal and violent film like this. And I know I say this almost every review, but I feel like we need more of this. It's true. It really is. It's a revenge story at its heart, but it has the ability to draw us into these characters. And honestly, I could have used more of like Fjolnir the uncle and Anna Taylor-Joy's character. It has this heartbeat, that hoo-ha type like score that carries you through the whole movie. And there's village raids and volcano fights and people acting like animals. Like, it was wild. No pun. I guess I'm just trying to say that I really liked it a lot. And I think I'm going to be able to rewatch it a lot. And it's obviously not going to get any sort of a sequel, I doubt. And so that led my brother and I, we were talking about like what could Robert do in the future. Like apparently there's some rumored Nosferatu movie that may have been canceled. But my brother brought up a really cool idea, which was like the Aztecs or the Mayans. It's been a really long time since we've gotten anything like that. Like Apocalypto, it's been a while. And also I'd like to see him maybe do something with subtitles. It was honestly more so The Witch that I had a tough time, but I do have a hard time understanding some of his dialogue. There were even parts in this because he makes it so historically accurate, which is amazing, but they're tossing around all these terms that I'm like, wait, what? But that being said, like Robert Eggers could do anything. He just has a feel for these period pieces. So let me know down in the comments if you have any ideas and what you think. And all in all, my opinion is that this movie was great. It's everything that I could have wanted it to be. And have you seen it? If you have, let me know what you thought about it. And if you haven't, are you excited to go see it? Are you going to go check it out? I would highly recommend doing so while it's in theaters. It was a pretty fun atmosphere. But also, if you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and hit that like button for me. That helps me get seen by more people just like you. And also, I would really appreciate your support. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Join the Jones Vibes community because I make a lot of content and I have a lot of fun. You can also find me on Instagram and Twitter at Jones Vibes Only. And yeah, that about wraps up The Northman. I hope you all are safe, happy, and healthy, and I will see you next time.
Jones Vibes.